Number 9 in the name of Deputy Murphy. 30 seconds to introduce.
Last Cancora, I want to ask the Minister for Justice and Equality the number of Gardaí and reservists in each Garda station in County Roscommon and Galway. Now, we all acknowledge during the session this area was very badly hit, and there is a commitment in the programme for government to increase the Garda numbers up to 15,000. So I would welcome an update on the figures today.
Deputy Murphy will be aware it's the Garda Commissioner who is responsible for the distribution of Garda personnel among the various divisions. I, as Minister, have no direct role in the matter. Garda management keeps this distribution of resources under continual review in the context of crime trends and policing priorities, so as to ensure that the optimum use is made of these resources. I do not politically interfere in policing matters, nor indeed do I direct the Commissioner where to deploy resources. Notwithstanding the Commissioner's responsibilities, I have provided for the record in tabular form the detailed information requested by Deputy Murphy. I am informed by the Commissioner that the strength of the Roscommon Longford Division and Galway Division on the 31st of August, the latest date for which information is readily available, was 312 and 587 respectively. There are also 6 Garda Reserves and 33 Garda civilian staff attached to the Roscommon Longford Division, 29 Garda Reserves, 67 Garda civilian staff attached to the Galway Division. When necessary, the work of local Gardaí is supported by a number of Garda national units, such as the National Bureau of Criminal Investigation, the Armed Support Units, the Garda National Economic Crime Bureau, the Garda National Drugs and Organised Crime Bureau. I want to take this opportunity again to confirm the Government's firm commitment to supporting An Garda Síochána, ensuring the organisation is appropriately resourced. Garda recruitment effectively ended from 2010 to 14, since the new recruits have attested as members of An Garda Síochána, they have been assigned to mainstream duties, of whom 18 and 31 have been assigned to the Roscommon Longford Division and the Galway Division. I am pleased that the strength of Garda Síochána will reach over 14,000 members by the end of this year. This last Cancora will be the first time in many years, but I also strongly welcome the funding provided in Budget 19 for recruitment of up to 800 Garda recruits next year, along with necessary civilian staff.
And I want to thank the Minister for his reply and welcome the fact that the figures are improving, going the right way. Mind you, having said that, I'm very concerned at the low number of Garda reservists. I wonder if you have any explanation for that or why that's happening. I think we have to realise that the role of the Garda Síochána has changed in a major way in recent years, and I often think about the areas now that Garda have to cover, apart from serious crime, immigrant issues, child abuse issues, Garda vetting, apart from public order offences, mental health issues, domestic disputes, great involvement in communities, helping out at events that are taking place, and of course drugs crime is a serious issue. So I want to acknowledge the role of the Garda Síochána, I'm sure you will, Minister, in terms of the role they do play in society and do a good job. It is important that we continue to increase those numbers, and I welcome the fact that we will have more recruits coming out in the coming year and continue to increase those numbers, particularly because of the fact that we have closed now quite a number of Garda stations. It is very important that we have more Gardaí on the beat.
Minister.
I made the table available to Deputy Murphy. If he hasn't got it now, he'll have it shortly. I just sent it over to him, where he will see the current state of play in Roscommon and Galway. And I thank him for raising this issue with me. I want to agree with Deputy Murphy on the matter of the reduction in Garda reserves. I very much regret that there has been a substantial reduction in the strength of the reserve in recent years, from a peak of 1,164 in 13 to 542 on the 31st of August this year. The fall-off arises from a range of factors, not least of which the lifting in 2014 of the moratorium on recruitment of trainee Gardaí. That has affected the numbers of reserves in a couple of ways. A number of serving reserves have successfully applied to become members of An Garda Síochána, and the Public Appointment Service has been focused on delivering an accelerated programme of recruitment of full-time members. But I'm very keen to ensure the importance of the Garda Reserve, and also I want to see an accelerated pace on the matter of civilians. undertaking administrative and technical duties within An Garda Síochána. I'm very keen that by the end of 2021 that we will have 4,000 civilian members on Garda Síochána, because I want to release Gardaí, many of whom are currently doing desk duties, out into the beat, onto the streets.
Final.
Minister, to get Gardaí out from behind the desk. They have an enormous amount of work there, as I pointed out to you, in relation to office work. But can I ask you about the demise of the traffic corps? In Galway, for example, there has been a decrease of 27% in the Garda traffic corps since 2010, as the numbers have fallen from 51 officers in 2010 to 37 in 2017. I don't have the up-to-date up to 2018. In the Roscommon Longford Garda division, there has been a drop of 32% in the number of Garda traffic corps since 2011, as the numbers have fallen from 25 officers in 2011 to just 17 in 2017. The same can be said for Sligo, Leitrim, indeed for other parts of the country. Now, at one stage, back in 2011, there was 940 officers in the traffic corps dedicated to road policing, and this declined to 669 in 2016 and 643 in 2017. I'm sure you would agree with me that the traffic corps are crucial to crime prevention and indeed implementing traffic law. So what are the plans of the traffic corps, and is it your plan to increase the numbers in the traffic corps from here on in?
Can I get Minister 1 minute?
Answer to that question, Nascian Corley, is yes. I am very keen to see a greater level of emphasis on road traffic policing. And I have discussed this issue with the Garda Commissioner, and I'm very pleased to report in the allocation in the Garda budget for next year an increase in funding that will allow for a greater emphasis on the Garda fleet and new vehicles. Already this year, we have seen something to the order of 200 new Garda vehicles. I would expect a number of those are in the Galway-Roscommon area, and again, I would hope that that will continue progressively into next year. I also recognise the need to change the model of community policing. In that regard, the Garda management is working on developing a new model of community policing to take account of changes taking place within our communities and the need for a more responsive police service. So with the civilisation programme that I mentioned, with a review of the current Garda Reserve, which I'm very anxious to speak to Garda management about, and the changing nature of road policing and community policing. I'm very keen that progress will be reported on all of these issues over the next while.